Well, welcome to Thoughts Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Lee. Today, I want to talk about this idea of what does it mean to return to love? If we break it down spiritually, we understand, or we believe we understand, there is only one. And this is the spiritual paradox in which we live. In other words, there's only one, and yet we see or feel or sense that there are many, and we're an individual. But the fact of us, the truth is that we're all part of the one. It's like we may be a molecule of air, individual, unique, and yet a part of all air. That's the same thing with our awareness, our consciousness. We're a part of the one. And there's an inner calling within all of us, an inner calling to come back into the oneness, come back into the allness. But too often, we as humans turn to our senses. And we turn to our senses in order to attempt to fill a void that cannot be filled in any way, shape, or form with sensory perceptions. Cannot. Sensory perceptions are limited. The oneness is never limited. The oneness is allness. The oneness is indescribable. Could call it indescribably delicious. What I know for me is as close to I get as to the oneness is always seems to be in the silence. It's in meditation if I'm silent with myself as I'm meditating. It's a meditation if I'm a part of a group meditation. It could be my wife and I sitting in a restaurant, just being silent with each other and being aware. I think one of the key things that most of us forget is that we think it's uncomfortable, it's not normal for two people to sit, just be still, and just be silent with each other. Really think about that. If you're with someone and you're really still and you're really silent, would that not be total acceptance? Would that not be a level of awareness beyond the ego? In silence is the only place you can know your oneness and your oneness with another. It's a paradox we live in. It's something that, I'm just going to say it, most people just don't get it. But yet, within them, there's a desire, a longing, a yearning to return to love, to return to oneness. I always know that my day starts off great. Why? Because I start my day off in oneness. I do deep breathing. I know that my breath is the breath of life, and life is breathing me. I then follow it with 30 minutes of meditation, where I let go of what my thoughts are. I let go of my body, and I center myself in the stillness. A little later, I lead a guided meditation. And you're all welcome to join me. It's at 7 a.m. Central Time, and if you go to agapespiritualcenter.com, you can find the Zoom link. So I have a conscious routine that brings me back to a state of oneness, as near as I can get at this time. And then I do meditate again in a later afternoon, early evening. I find that meditating twice a day, I learned that in transcendental meditation. I've learned that studying with gurus in India and Tibet. Twice a day, take time to return to love, to go into the silence, to let go of the ego, so that the ego knows it's there to serve you, You are not there to serve it. And I think too often we get confused and we start living based on what the ego wants us to do. Well, that's as far from love as you can get because the ego wants to be right. The ego wants power. The ego wants to control. Love simply is, allows, accepts, and is fully present in every moment. There's a big difference between the ego and love. People will think, well, my partner loves me. I don't know that they love you. I don't know what your definition of love is. I spent a whole chapter in my book, The Power in You, on the power of knowing what love is. If you've not read the book, I highly suggest The Power in You by Reveille Wallach. You can get it on Amazon. I go through 16 powers that exist within you. It's short, it's sweet, it's easy to read. But what I've done is I wrote this book. The final thing that caused me to write this book was I wanted to leave something for my granddaughter, something that shared the wisdom that I've learned in my life to this point. And so I wrote it for her and I put it out into the universe so everyone can benefit from what I've learned. Not that I'm right. I don't know that I'm right. I don't know that. I just know that what I'm saying works for me. It appears to work for me, and I'm open to a new way of seeing it. And I think that's truly love. Love is being open to see beyond what the ego is attaching to. That's the best I've got this morning. Love is going beyond what the ego is attaching to. Think about that. What does the ego do? The ego wants to be right. Love does not need to be right. Love accepts what is and moves forward without bringing the past in. And we have been so domesticated, so conditioned to bring the past with us. All that baggage, all that load. When you're walking around today, observe the people you come in contact with and see, are they light? Are they free? Or are they carrying a load? Yeah, a load of the past. A load that's just an illusion that we can let go of at any time. There's something in you and in everyone that wants to return to love. Perfect acceptance, wholeness. For me, it's the realization of truth. I'm never alone. I'm part of the infinite. And the infinite created me to express as only as I can, like it did you. With that, know that I love you because I accept you as you are. And make this your special day. Aloha.